San Diego Aztecs and the North Carolina Tar Heels are not too far removed from making a national championship game. 2 years for San Diego State and 3 years for North Carolina, respectively. But it's clear that they are not the same teams when they made it to that spot. They're facing off here at Dayton for a trip to Milwaukee in the March Madness South region to face the Ole Miss Rebels, 6th in that region. Either one of these two teams will get the 11th seed in the region. I am Alec Nava. Welcome to UD Arena for the first four. We're just coming off a barn burner between St. Francis and Alabama State, in which Alabama State won their first ever March Madness game in program history on a thrilling 70-68 win up against the St. Francis Red Flash. The Alabama State Hornets, led by 16 points from Amar Knox on the starting five. TJ Madlock got 17 rebounds and 2 assists to add on to his 11 points. CJ Hines with 10 points on the starting five. Off the bench, Micah Simpson with 9 points, 3 assists, and 3 steals. So as they start off this March Madness, well, utter chaos ensued. The missed free throws were huge on the way for the Alabama State win. But here, it is North Carolina and San Diego State. Andrew, as we get you on board here, March is finally here. Woo. Looking forward to this one. How are you? You there? Uh-oh. Okay, I thought you were cutting out for a moment, but Andrew, you there? And if so, how are you? Let's try this again. Are these connection issues still there? I just don't understand what's going on right now, but right. Nonetheless, San Diego State, UNC. One of those games in which nobody thought that these two would be in this spot, but here they are. This is their meeting number 3 between them. But the first time they've met in March Madness stage, North Carolina won both previous games, 103-92 in the 1988-1989 season on December 29th, 88, and 99-63 at the Smith Center on November 24th, 1990. The first one was at San Diego. And Tar Heels current head coach Hubert Davis played in both games, scoring 16 in the 1990 game. Jeff Lobo scored 14 in that game, as well as was on one of the 6 Tar Heels with double figures in the game at the San Diego Sports Arena. So as we try to figure out what the connection issues with Andrew, well, here we go with his preview. When the Aztecs defeated the then 6th-ranked Houston Cougars on November 30th of the season, it wasn't known at the time, but it was one of the key reasons why they quit a spot in the first 4. It's a young team with the chops to be a problem and for teams that are contenders for the March Madness title, but they've been painfully shaky at key times as opposed to when they made it to the Final Four 2 years ago. The Tar Heels are here because of a way too high net ranking 36th in the nation in the ranking, West Virginia 51st, Indiana 54th. Yet UNC Athletic Director Bubba Cunningham, being the chairman of the NCAA Tournament Selection Committee, is described by many fans as a bad look for the NCAA and by many to perceive as a wrong selection over teams like Indiana or West Virginia. In fact, West Virginia is seeking legal action against the NCAA because they believe they were robbed of a March Madness selection. Both teams caught a break that the conference tournament bid stealing was at a minimum. And now they get a chance at the dance. The Tar Heels won 2 of their last 3 and 7 of their last 9 to reach the tournament, with their only 2 losses being to the Duke Blue Devils in the regular season finale and the ACC Tournament over the past few days. So as for that, San Diego State, on the other hand, they slipped up a bit in recent weeks in the stretch that's run of the regular season and the Mountain West Tournament, losing 3 of their last 6 contests, including one by double digits to the Boise State Broncos. Over the past few years, SDSU has been accustomed to consistently making the big dance. This is their 5th straight trip to March Madness. They do have an impressive non-conference resume with wins over Houston and the then number 21 Creighton Blue Jays, the latter by double digits in that win. As we preview both teams, we begin with the San Diego State Aztecs for their preview of this game. So the tournament selection committee made a controversial move when they included North Carolina in the field of 68. So as we start with San Diego State, their non-conference work carried themselves to a bid. Enormous neutral floor wins over Houston and Creighton got them to this point. The Aztecs have made 2 straight second weekend plus runs in the tournament, but this will be Brian Dutcher's first time coaching in Dayton. All that action is action that San Diego State can shut down. The Aztecs rank 6th nationally in points per possession allowed in transition, have a ton of perimeter size and athleticism to defend isolation action and the pick and roll. They'll make UNC shoot. The Aztecs pack it in and defend the interior with tenacity. But because San Diego State is so big and long on the perimeter, it ranks in the top 20 nationally in 3-point percentage allowed, which leads to the UNC previews. We're meshing these two previews together. The majority of bracketologists had the Tar Heels out because of the 1-12 mark against Quad 1 competition. But the top 5 non-conference strength of schedule proved to be the difference for the powers that be. They've been hot as of late. The only loss have been to their arch rivals down on the I-40. But their competition has been nothing to write home about. But the Tar Heels are transition reliant, running in the open floor at an 85th percentile rate, using a ton of isolation of ball screens in the half court, relying on R.J. Davis and Elliot Cadeau to create off the bounce. UNC is not a good outside shooting team. They can make threes, but they attempt them at just the 228th highest rate in the country. And San Diego State can and will make UNC shoot. Few teams in the nation can both pack the paint and also close out effectively on would-be shooters at elite levels. The Heels will, of course, have the talent advantage. R.J. Davis was a preseason National Player of the Year favorite. Elliot Cadeau is a talented ball handler. Seth Trimble can be a number 1 scoring option, and Ian Jackson is a blue-chip recruit. San Diego State's going to need their lockdown defenders, such as Miles Bird, to be at their very best in this game. Entering into it, that is. San Diego State is the bigger and more physical team, and the Aztecs need to muck this game up and turn it as a war that they're going to win. They need to have all hands on deck on the way to them going for a win, and insane interior defense is going to be their benefit. The Aztecs rank 8th nationally in 2-point field goal percentage, 1st in block rate, and 18th in field goal percentage allowed at the rim. If the Tar Heels are cold from deep, the Aztecs can at least keep this game extremely low scoring. But offense can be hard to come by for SDSU. Dutcher runs a ton of ball screen action for Nick Boyd and deploys his arsenal of versatile wings and forwards to get loose balls and offensive rebounds. UNC has been awful defending the pick and roll this season. They rank in the 20th percentile nationally in points per possession allowed to ball handlers coming off screens. That is, they are next level abysmal on defense as well. Their smaller perimeter doesn't force turnovers, meaning that SDSU should at least be able to get off a shot or two on every possession. UNC's lack of interior fortitude and rim protection doesn't hurt either for San Diego State as well. So it turns out the HBO Max feed is a little slow, but Brian Dutcher and Hubert Davis are widely believed to be evenly balanced in the coaching ranks, though Dutcher has made it to the championship game once with San Diego State. As we are still waiting for HBO Max to continue onwards, well, there is some trouble, I believe, in terms of the connection. I don't know what is happening. I actually do not know what is happening around here. So, I don't know what is going to go on from here. So now, everything went weird for a moment, but now it's all fixed. As the connection is back on. And so as we go on here for what we are going to get onto between UNC and San Diego State. Magoon Guaf has missed the last few weeks of this season with a knee injury. And now he's returning to the San Diego State roster. North Carolina has been awful at the pick and roll. They have the talent advantage and a free throw line advantage. San Diego State is next level awful at free throws. They are making just 66.6% of their free throws, shooting 44.4% from the field. San Diego State is 33.5% shooting from free. But for North Carolina, their shooting numbers are nothing to scoff at. 47.6% from the field, 35.3% from free, and 73.7% from the line. However, defense has been awful for them. So we're looking towards this game. We believe we're going to get our starting lineup soon enough. In just a moment, as opening tip-off is going to be momentarily, we're going to get the starting fives, beginning with the San Diego State Aztecs. So running the point guard position is B.J. Davis. The shooting guard position is Nick Boyd. Miles Bird at the small forward position. At the power forward is Miles Heide. And at center is Jared Coleman-Jones. For North Carolina, their starting five, Elliot Cadeau at point guard. R.J. Davis at shooting guard. Jalen Withers at small forward. At the power forward, it is Drake Powell. And at center is Ven-Allen Lubin. So the San Diego State coaching staff consisting of Brian Dutcher, head coach. Ryan Bartratelli. However you pronounce it. Ryan Bartratelli. Ryan Bartratelli as an assistant coach. I had to learn pronunciations at times. J.D. Luster as an assistant coach as well. And throughout the coaching staff, another assistant coach, David Velasquez. Hubert Davis' coaching staff consists of assistants Brad Frederick, Jeff Lebo, Sean May, Pat Sullivan, and Marcus Page, a UNC legend when North Carolina made it to their national championship game run. Eventually lost to the eventual champion Villanova in that national championship. Page hitting an impossible shot from the right wing side to tie it at 74. Then Chris Jenkins happened. Speaking of Jenkins, he is on the Villanova coaching staff. So Jeff Lebo, part of the coaching staff for the Tar Heels, where Hubert Davis took over the retired Roy Williams. So to look at the rosters for these teams, San Diego State, Magoon Guaf, number 0. Nick Boyd, number 2. Wayne McKay III, number 3. Desai Lopez, number 4. Pharaoh Compton, number 5. Ryan Schwartz, number 6. Cam Lowen, number 8. B.J. Davis, number 10. DeMarshe Johnson, number 11. Reese Waters, number 14. Miles Bird, number 21. Kimo Ferrari, number 23. Taj DeGorville, number 24. Ray Gonzalez, number 25. Jared Coleman-Jones, number 31. Kai Lee, number 20. Falkboy Mayak, number 33. Miles Heide, number 40. For UNC's roster, Ty Quad, number 0. James Brown, number 2. Elliot Cadeau, number 3. R.J. Davis, number 4. Kay Tyson, number 5. Elijah Davis, number 6. Seth Trimble, number 7. Drake Powell, number 9. Ian Jackson, number 11. Jalen Washington, number 13. Russell Hawkins, number 14. John Holbrook, number 15. Ven-Allen Lubin, number 22. Jalen Withers, number 24. And Dante Mayo, number 30. So in just a moment, we're going to get San Diego State and North Carolina in the first 4. So it's 6 minutes away, the first time ever that these two are meeting in March Madness. So opening tip-off is going to be in about 6 minutes, everyone. Stand by as we round it out with some talk around what is going on the March Madness circle. So Indiana has named West Virginia's Darian DeVree as their new head coach of the men's basketball program. DeVries will receive a 6-year deal at the school, joining the Hoosiers after spending just 1 year with the Mountaineers. He was hired last March to replace interim head coach Jae'Lyn, who had taken over for Bob Huggins following his resignation in June 2023. In its lone season, DeVries led West Virginia to a 19-13 overall record, finishing 10-10 in the Big 12 before the Mountaineers were left off the bracket on Selection Sunday. DeVries said, quote, "This is unquestionably one of the top jobs in America. As someone who grew up in the Midwest loving the game of basketball, I've always admired the IU basketball program for its championship-level success, tradition, and fan support. There's a passion to succeed at the very highest levels, both within the Big Ten and in the NCAA tournament. And that's a desire that, as the coach, I share." DeVries signed a 5-year deal when he was hired at West Virginia. The total buyout is expected to cost $6.15 million, $4.67 million for his basketball contract, in addition to other expenses per the deal, such as paying the buyout from Drake that West Virginia paid and other expenses incurred in his hiring. He was the head coach of Drake for 6 years, guiding the Bulldogs to 3 March Madness appearances in his final 4 years. He went 150-55 at his time there, winning at least 20 games every season. The Bulldogs won the Missouri Valley regular season championship in 2019 and the conference tournament title in 2013 and 2024, winning a first 4 game in the 2021 tournament and then losing in the first round to Miami in 2023 and Washington State last year. DeVries spent 20 seasons on staff at Creighton before becoming a head coach, including 17 years as an assistant coach under Dana Altman and Greg McDermott. He replaces Mike Woodson, who announced in early February he planned to step down at the end of his 4th year at Bloomington. Woodson's a former Indiana star, leading the Hoosiers to the March Madness tournament in each of his first 2 seasons, but has dealt with speculation surrounding his future for most of the past 2 seasons. Indiana missed the tournament both years, being named one of the first 4 teams left off of this year's field. DeVries taking over a program in desperate need of consistent success. The Hoosiers are one of the all-time winningest programs in college basketball and a program of 5 national championships, having advanced past the first round of the NCAA tournament just 3 times since reaching the national championship in 2002, the first weekend I meant. They've also missed 6 of the last 8 tournaments under 3 different coaches. DeVries' son, Tucker, has been at the heart of much of DeVries' head coaching success, earning the Missouri Valley Player of the Year award in 2023 and 2024, before following him to West Virginia, playing just 8 games for the Mountaineers this year before missing the rest of the campaign with an upper body injury. The school is expected to apply for a medical redshirt, which would give him 1 more year of eligibility, potentially at Indiana. So as we're here at Dayton, Ohio, this has been the site of the first 4 games since 2001. The capacity crowd here being 13,409 for basketball games. So this is their 25th straight year hosting a first 4 game. And 2 basketball heavyweights here. The San Diego State Aztecs and the North Carolina Tar Heels. RJ Davis being a preseason favorite for National Player of the Year. Whoever wins will head to Fiserv Forum to face the Ole Miss Rebels. In Milwaukee, the other 2 teams being Iowa State and Lipscomb. We're moments away from the opening tip-off as these 2 teams are being introduced here to the Dayton crowd. The crowd was starting to get packed up after the Alabama State win. And it was a chaotic ending to that game, in which there was not a securing of the ball at the very last moment. And I was wondering, how did that happen? Oh my goodness. Just wow on that. (2,684 career points, the second most in program history for RJ Davis. This program for North Carolina having witnessed the likes of Michael Jordan on the basketball program, among the most notable players in North Carolina history. Lenny Rosenbluth, Phil Ford, George Glamock, Antoine Jameson, James Worthy, Tyler Hansbrough being some of the more notable names alongside Michael Jordan. In fact, these names I mentioned have their jersey numbers retired with the Tar Heels. 10 and for Rosenbluth, 12 for Ford, 20 for Glamek, 23 for Jordan, 33 for Jamison, 50 for Hansbrough, and 52 for Worthy. In addition to the 8 retired jerseys, an additional 43 jerseys are honored. Joe Barry II, Justin Jackson, and R.J. Davis most recently qualified to have their jerseys honored. So among those honored jerseys, Jim Jordan, John Hook Dillon, Pete Brannon, Tommy Kearns, Lee Schaffer, York Laris. Both teams are discussing the plans here to begin this game as we're moments away from the tip-off as they are coming out the huddle. Brian Dutcher, in his 8 years as San Diego State head coach, also the 8th season overall as an NCAA basketball head coach. You get everyone back onto the board here. Yes, everyone is out now. Bird is at half court getting ready. And also, number 0, Magoon Guaf for San Diego State is on the floor here. He's back and fully healthy here for the Aztecs. And that's at center court, getting ready to settle this down. And off the tip-off, the first possession is San Diego State. Let's get rocking and rolling. North Carolina in the Carolina blue and San Diego State in the white. Doug Sermons, Tony Padilla, and Nathan Hall are our referees. The opening shot didn't go, and a crash here. Powell securing the rebound. Davis in the 54th North Carolina tournament appearance here in program history. San Diego State takes it back off an error pass. Bird, he'll look. North Carolina has had 6 national championships, their most recent 2017. They most recently made in 2022 when they last had Caleb Love and Armando Bacot. Opening shot goes. That was not the opening shot, however. This was the opening make, thanks to B.J. Davis, their point guard. On the near side, Cadeau to the paint, lays it in. He answers back as these two exchange layups. North Carolina took Duke to the brink, but a lane violation off a free throw make is what cost them a potential win against the Blue Devils. San Diego State lost their tournament to the eventual NCAA champion in the last 2 years. Oh my goodness. Heavy crash along the San Diego State bench involving number 0, Magoon Guaf, in which they were both fighting for the ball, and Jae'Lyn Withers was also involved in that crash. Only a minute and 15 seconds into this game, it's 2-2 here between these two NCAA teams. And we have a clock reset here as the officials were looking over for the clock management. And now an inbound. Looks like they're showing 2:24 on the clock. So we do have a clock malfunction here in Dayton. Now they have set it at 18:43. Not often do you see more than 59 seconds on a clock, because when 60 seconds, that equates to 1 minute. So 84 seconds means 2:24 when you have 1 minute onto the 184. Cadeau has it deflected up, and it bounces onto San Diego State. Good deflection by the Aztecs. Known for their stifling defense, and it can get in their faces. Nick Boyd, the Florida Atlantic transfer, free-pointer for Coleman Jones. Short, and this will be grabbed by Elliot Cadeau, who has been amazing for UNC against Duke. From the point by the March Madness logo. Withers looks to Powell. Powell, shake and bake, right at the top of the key, now moves towards their right hash. He'll kick it out for Davis. Davis with 10, 9. Davis moves right off the screen. Coleman Jones on the switch inside for Lubin. Ball's deflected out by San Diego State, and it'll be 3.4 seconds on the clock. So Guaf on the starting 5, not Heidi. And Hubert Davis calling the shots. So we're tied at 2 here in the first few minutes of this first 4 game. Wivers trying to get open, but it's Davis. Davis missed it. Rebound is up, and it's grabbed by Powell. Excellent job there to keep it in as R.J. Davis will get a second chance. Who backs up? Davis will move up front for center. Davis to Cadeau. Fires the free in the left corner. Big shots. Elliot Cadeau continuing his hot run from the Duke game to get UNC their first lead. To get you back here, Andrew, does UNC have a chance at knocking off San Diego State?
Absolutely. How are you doing, Alex? You got Carolina winning this game?
Hey, you never know, but I think Carolina does have a great chance of beating San Diego State. Here's a free point for the right corner. Sinks it. That is Nick Boyd, who transferred from the Florida Atlantic Owls. And he led them to the Final Four 2 years ago, losing ironically to San Diego State on a Lamont Butler buzzer beater. Left corner, it is Powell, pickpocketed, and back comes San Diego State. Immediately a free. Didn't go there, and it's another Drake Powell rebound. From the far side, the Tar Heels moving up for the wing, and here's a poke down Main Street, and couldn't lay this one in. Instead, you'll have to settle for free. Missed it, but an offensive board. It's kicked out from Coleman Jones. On the right side, Guaf. Contact from an elbow. That's our first shooting foul of this game. And so Guaf will shoot 2. He missed the last few weeks to injury. So Magoon Guaf has been a crucial part of this San Diego State core, averaging 8.5 points per game. Team leader is Boyd. San Diego State has lost 6 of their top 7 scorers from last year. The only one that returned has not played this year, all season. Guaf misses the first free throw. And so he'll get another chance, though. He has a knee brace on him. That's why the injury is being mentioned. About that knee injury. How effective is he going to be in his first game back? Especially because this game is in Dayton and high stakes are involved. This is for the 11th seed and a trip to Milwaukee at Fiserv Forum. Guaf sinks the second one and puts the Aztecs up by 1. The Tar Heels commit 4 turnovers in their first 6 possessions. That's what playing this stifling San Diego State team can do to you. Here's a three-pointer left corner from Wivers. Yes, sir. Jae'Lyn Wivers, who opens things up, trying to redeem himself for the costly lane violation for the last game. North Carolina's made their first 2 three-pointers. San Diego State's 1 of 5 on such. It is Davis, B.J. Davis, going to Miles Bird, who could have laid up last time around. Now is Jared Coleman Jones. Davis activates. Coleman Jones can't kick it out, but there was a handy air. Cadeau sets up Davis. You bet. North Carolina up by 4. Past the 4-minute mark. 15:38 to go in the half. Davis averaging 17 points per game, a team lead. As their primary playmaker. Bird will find Coleman Jones as he goes back to him. Sets a screen for Boyd, and now that free miss. There was a hand in the reach, and that'll lead us to our first official timeout. North Carolina leads 10-6 after 4.5 minutes of play in the first half. during the first stages of March Madness this year, UConn, the defending champion, doesn't look to be the same, though UNC 1-8 against ranked opponents. They lost in the semifinals of the ACC Tournament against Duke 74-71, which would have been their second win against a ranked opponent this year. Duke being the top-ranked team, and they're expecting to get Cooper Flagg back for the tournament. Though at what capacity is he going to be helpful for them? Because it's clear it's not going to be at 100%. 10-6 as we come back. The lead for North Carolina, though San Diego State is looking to inbound. Right quarter as we have our first substitutions of this game. As new players onto the court here, Taj DeGorville and Wayne McKinney. DeGorville is going to looking to kick it out, and he does so. Activating up is Boyd. Boyd will kick it out. 0 to shoot, and no shot from Coleman Jones. North Carolina not known for their defense, but that time every lane was closed off. North Carolina inbounds as Powell going to Davis. Back-to-back turnovers committed by the Aztecs. Not a great offensive team, North Carolina, but North Carolina is not a great defensive team either. Davis will move around Heidi. At the right side, Powell deflected up by Coleman Jones. Ball loose as they're both fighting for the ball, and scooping it up is DeGorville, who moves for Boyd. Nick Boyd, the FAU transfer, slowly making his way up for the court. San Diego State, 1 of 5 from free. And here comes what I believe is McKinney, and he is fouled on the way to the basket. Their senior guard for San Diego State, previously transferred from UC San Diego. Desai Lopez transferred from the College of San Mateo. And another foul against the Tar Heels as McKinney swinging back for Heidi. Boyd through the left side. Nick Boyd continuing to look. He has nowhere to go to. And almost ridden up the ball. He'll go to Heidi. Now to Gorville. San Diego State has to hurry. They're at the right side. The Gorville. That one rolled out. And a rebound from the substitute for North Carolina, Jae'Lyn Washington. RJ Davis will look. Swing pass and then back on for the right side. As Powell exits the court and then gets back. Davis around Heidi. Davis lifts from deep. Bank shot. RJ Davis on a hater to start this half. And already, Davis being the preseason ACC Player of the Year favorite. He now has 5 points. No points for San Diego State in their last 3 minutes. They're 1 of 6 from deep. While North Carolina is 3 of 3 from deep. Moving up, here is McKinney. And the rebound is deflected away. Heidi kept inside. The hook goes. And the Aztecs cut it to within 5, tracking that perfectly. 2 fouls for the Tar Heels, 1 for the Aztecs. On the right, Davis kicks it out. Moving up. And a mid-range shot for the free throw line. Didn't go there, but jumping up for the rebound is Boyd. Nick Boyd. Looking for the right wing side as he cycles to his left. Boyd inside. Swatted away by Powell. Drake Powell got a fingertip on that layup. And now he goes. Draws the contact. No foul is called. The Gorville gets the rebound. The Gorville around Davis. Screen set by Coleman Jones. Across for Boyd. Lofts the free for the right wing side. Yes, sir. The Aztecs cut this to a 1-possession game. 7:30 into the half. Just their second three-pointer of tonight. Davis for Powell, left corner. Answers. They exchange three-pointers back and forth. As they get a whistle here as the clock may need to be reset to 12:19. Encouraging signs here for North Carolina as they don't shoot a lot of threes. But we had substitution for both teams. Powell made the most of his time. He is getting subbed out along with Jae'Lyn Washington. First March Madness game in the first round to cover is High Point against Purdue. Purdue being the reigning runner-ups of last year's tournament. Losing Zach Edey to the draft. But how they did, still impressive nonetheless. Left wing side is Taj DeGorville. who goes over to the next substitution for San Diego State. That is number 5, Pharaoh Compton. Inside, the layup missed. And grabbing this rebound away, yoinking it was Withers. Right wing side. They go back and forth on these two passes between Kay Tyson and Seth Trimble. Coming off the bench. Trimble's layup. And San Diego State got a hand on it, but they get a foul their way. And that leads us to our next timeout. 16-11, North Carolina. With 11:40 remaining, I am Alec Nava. Stay tuned. Back here from Dayton. And Teddy, thank you so much for the comments. From one part of the world to another, I appreciate you for listening to this cast all the way across the Atlantic Ocean. Whew, you know, even if you, I'm struggling to find the words here, but hey, thank you so much for this feedback. Heck, and thank you so much as well. And even though I am not legally allowed to cast the game because of copyright claims, I do want to get into the passion as much as possible. Thank you so much for this. It means a lot. Seth Trimble going to the line. 11:43 to go in the first half of this March Madness game. Thank you so. Chance to make it a 7-point lead here for the Tar Heels on this foul as Trimble nails the first one. And Brian Dutcher, a Steve Fisher disciple, as Fisher had Dutcher on his coaching staff, with Dutcher being an assistant on San Diego State. The two of them saw the development of Kawhi Leonard together before he made it to the NBA. As a key piece of the San Antonio Spurs 2014 championship run. Trimble makes both free throws. And so it's a 7-point lead indeed. So now, up for the middle. As this is DeGorville and then back. Taj DeGorville is looking for a lane. Finds one in Wayne McKinney. McKinney moving over to the right side for Bird. And then in front, the spin. They lose the ball. UNC going back the other way and Trimble. Whoa, there was heavy contact as he went up and over. And McKinney tried to defend it. He'll get called for the foul. Farrell Compton was in front, gave up the ball. And in transition comes Trimble. And then McKinney leaned in and trying to draw something. But he was not in a legal charging position. Trimble has 2 points, both of them on free throws. He'll get this up to 4. He does so on making both. First one's good. So on the bracket, these two teams are seeded 11th as part of the first 4 selections. Winner faces Ole Miss in the first round. Trimble takes his time for the second free throw, taking several dribbles, and sinks the second one. It's a 9-point lead now, and San Diego State has several players checking back in. That is B.J. Davis in the place of Wayne McKinney, who subs out. They go tic-tac-toe with one another, and the Aztecs need points here. They're not a high-scoring team, but they're a very vicious defensive team. Compton sets the screen. Farrell Compton. B.J. Davis now with the ball, getting it over to DeGorville. Moving up front, over to Davis. B.J. Davis with Elliot Cadeau on him. Left corner. A shake and bake. 5 to shoot. They need to get it off somewhere. They do. It bounced up. The ball's tipped up several times. Knocked away by the Tar Heels. The Aztecs get to keep. Getting the ball away. And Guaf is back into the game. DeGorville will inbound it. Compton sets up in front. Davis gets open. Baseline rejected out of bounds. A layup that B.J. Davis was trying to get up. And Elliot Cadeau smacked it away like it was nothing. Knocking it out of bounds. The Aztecs get another chance at it. Oh, this one was deflected. The Aztecs didn't get a proper chance on settling this. Farrell Compton was trying to make himself available, but he was closed off and tight. DeGorville will try again. He'll be defended right up front. And again, Compton, DeGorville. The two connect with one another. Shake, no bake. As Trimble was staying on his man. Now DeGorville trying to get himself open. Here's Boyd for free. Short. And UNC will go in transition. Up through the seam. The middle. Oh! That's an even more ferocious block. Up the middle, that was Ian Jackson off the bench. One of the leading scorers for the Tar Heels. B.J. Davis got into his face to reject that out. Deep inbound will be collected by the Tar Heels. Lubin. Ven-Allen Lubin's layup was smoked, but there's a foul here. And a practice layup was made by Cadeau, but it will be free throws for Lubin. 9 minutes, 38 seconds into this first quarter. It paid off for North Carolina as they wanted to get baseline onto the rack. It was a smack from Guaf, who had that knee injury earlier. Lubin, a junior from Orlando, Florida, 6'8", 230 pounds. His first free throw, good. 10-point lead now for the Tar Heels. And Guaf with only 1 point. He has 2 fouls so far, so he's going to get subbed out by Dutcher alongside McKinney. Heidi is suited up, but we'll have more substitutions potentially on the way here. Jared Coleman-Jones on the floor here for the San Diego State Aztecs. Second free throw is good. It's an 11-point lead, 22-11. North Carolina has won 8 of their last 10 games when leading by at least 10 points. They have also won 7 of their last 9 as the pass just got off for Compton and now Bird. Swing pass from Boyd to Bird. Now Compton goes up front and elevates himself for the jam. halfway mark of the first half, and Compton gets San Diego State within 9. They still trail 13-22. Compton tried to reach in for the steal. The Tar Heels kick it out. Here is Wivers. Yes, sir. From the left corner, Jae'Lyn Wivers. Getting North Carolina up by 12. They're a perfect 5 for 5 from deep, and they're not missing on their frees. Compton will swing it over left wing side. Now it's B.J. Davis. Davis will swing it to Bird, slowed up by Cadeau, and lost the ball. Cadeau swings it out. Trimble lays it in. The Tar Heels are on a mission. They want to prove everyone wrong, and Seth Trimble gets Brian Dutcher to use his timeout. We'll be right back here from Dayton. In the field, there are 14 SEC teams and NCAA record among most SEC teams in March Madness history. The ACC is 4-2 on the field. This is methodical basketball by the Tar Heels all throughout. 3-pointers, they're making them at every turn. As such, they're being rewarded with a 27-13 lead over the Aztecs. They're on a 14-2 run in their last 3-15. Davis will look from the point, moving up front for Pharaoh Compton. Compton's hook was too low, and North Carolina will go back the other way. But, oh, this pass was deflected away by Compton. He rushed back in a hustle. Though defense has to lead to offense here for San Diego State. They have to make the most of it. So far, they're not. Miles Heide checks back in for Pharaoh Compton. Nick Boyd still out there. That's their leading scorer, Matt Bradley. He graduated, as here's R.J. Davis. Davis, tic-tac-toe between him and Cadeau. Davis over to the left side. Davis checks the layup, no foul. And Heide will get the rebound. Boyd will move it up the near side. 3 of 9 from 2, 2 of 9 from 3 are the Aztecs. Heidi fought about the free. He'll go back for B.J. Davis. Saying this screen. Davis double teamed. He'll move it around. Coleman Jones. Davis. Still no options to shoot at. Now here's one to Nick Boyd. Off the mark. That is not going to go. Coleman Jones thought about hustling back for the rebound, but saw that this one was going out of bounds. Decided not to take that risk. 8:17 to play in this first half. Seth Trimble has taken a seat. San Diego State is looking for answers. He had 6 turnovers in their first 5:22. They play turnover-free ball ever since that point, and they're taking care of the basketball very good. Inside, blocked by the foul. Ven-Allen Lubin was right there, post up, and San Diego State is seeing another foul against them. That is now 6, or 5 rather, against SDSU. And Miles Bird in disbelief as he arm-checked Ven-Allen Lubin, who will shoot 2. A perfect 2 for 2 from free throws. This could be a chance to extend this to 29 for North Carolina. Here's the first shot. Got it. North Carolina has been perfect from the free throw line so far. 7 of 7. This will soon be Lubin's 4th free throw of this game. Not a lot of excitement on the San Diego State side as Lubin rolled the second one in. Coleman Jones inbounding. San Diego State has only taken 2 free throws. They made just 1 of them. And their scoring drought, another run of no points. This time, it's in their last 2:15. Moved over to Heidi and then back. It's knocked away, but it goes over to who I believe. Yeah, that is number 10. That is, it's Coleman Jones. He stepped out. B.J. Davis, number 10. 7:40 to go here in the first quarter. It's been all Tar Heels. As we step out here from Dayton, we'll be right back. San Diego State is just 5 of 19 shooting so far. That's an abysmal 26.3% shooting rate. And they're 2 of 10 from free. For UNC, they're 5 of 5 from free. From 2, they're just 3 of 8. There's a stark contrast between these two styles. UNC is thriving by the free and living by it. Hubert Davis in his third tournament appearance in March Madness. He is 7-2 in games, losing in a national championship in his first year with UNC as their head coach, taking the 8th seeded Tar Heels all the way to the championship where they lost to the Kansas Jayhawks, blowing a 15-point lead. During getting to the championship, they beat the Duke Blue Devils in Mike Krzyzewski's final game. Coach K, one of the best coaches, if not the best coach, in NCAA men's basketball history. UNC getting open here. It is Cadeau. Elliot Cadeau moving through the middle. It's a 16-2 run to last 4:48 for the Tar Heels. They're shooting extremely well. Cadeau will swing it out. The slam! What a move and what a play by the Tar Heels as they go up by 18. Ven-Allen Lubin with an angry dunk. That's his first shot from the field. And San Diego State has turned over the ball 3 times in their last 6 possessions. Their 3-point is too far here. Fighting for the rebound. Can't get it. It is Wivers grabbing it. Second chance opportunities for San Diego State have come very slim, far, and within. Cadeau spins around, and he'll lay this one through. It's a 20-point lead, and already you can sense the bloodbath that's brewing here in Dayton. It's now a 20-2 run. The Aztecs need something. They're 5 of 20 shooting, while UNC is 10 of 15. And a foul is called here as there was some contact away from the play. Drake Powell is getting called for that foul. 8 deep are the Tar Heels. 9 deep are the Aztecs. But that depth is not helping the Aztecs right now. And subbing out is Ven-Allen Lubin. Made an angry dunk on the play at the left side. Boyd inbounds it. And it is swinged all the way out to Heidi. From the left side, Miles Bird closing in. He'll defer it. A fake on the free from Guaf. Now Guaf moves down. Oh, he missed the dunk. A late whistle here. With 6:20 to go in the first quarter. I was saying Guaf to the free throw line. He missed the dunk. It's on Drake Powell as he tried to block the dunk away. And he caught the head of Guaf. Sorry if I'm a little tired here. Redshirt freshman year for Guaf. He dealt with a knee injury for most of the season. Now he's back. His first free throw here is too far. So stays the same score. So this 2025 Stanley Cup playoffs beginning on April the 19th. Almost exactly a month from now. Well, exactly a month from tomorrow. Just 1 point so far. 0 for 2 on field goals. Makes his second free throw. So it's a 19-point game. It's not much. 6:20 to go here in the first half. UNC playing their hearts out. 6:15 to go here, first quarter. UNC's 8 of 8 on free throws. Cadeau looks right. Activating up over to the right side for Wivers and missed that one. A rare miss by the Tar Heels. And now Boyd. Pass deflected away. It was bad out of bounds by Cadeau as he was defending a centering pass for Magoon Guaf. The Euless, Texas native, only to San Diego State. So far, it's been nothing here for the Aztecs as the Tar Heels have every sort of advantage right now. Running circles around the Aztecs. Look for the baseline area. Baseline here for the Goreville. Missed the layup. You will not get a better look than that. And now Cadeau makes his layup with contact as well. Seth Trimble. Thought that was going to be a layup on the 2-on-1. Pass it. 12-6 the points in the paint advantage for the Tar Heels. And they're on a 13-1 run in their last 4:15. Taj de Goreville moves to the right hash. Looks. Sees nothing. Kicks it out. Deep shot from the point. Too far. And jumping in for the rebound is Jae'Lyn Wivers. Sets it up over to the far side. 7 points for Trimble. 8 points for Trimble. 7 for Cadeau. Here's Trimble again. Does he make another one? No. And that's the first miss on a three-point shot by the Tar Heels all game. It took them until the 14:50 mark for that to happen. Nick Boyd from deep. Can't cash in there, but the rebound from Guap, he sinks it. Finally, for the Aztecs, they get something. But it doesn't scream a lot if they can't hit their shots. Guap with 4 points and a single rebound. Jae'Lyn Wivers sets up RJ Davis. Kicks it back out for Wivers. Watched by Heidi. Davis sidearms it over to Washington. Hook shot rolls in. Jae'Lyn Washington with excellent execution off the feed from Davis. Top player on North Carolina now. 10 points off the bench are the Tar Heels, 4 for the Aztecs. Pass was almost deflected away, and here's Nick Boyd, who looks at the right hash and fires it. Mid-range shot didn't fall. That's a Kawhi Leonard shot from mid-range. Notice I'm saying Kawhi Leonard because this is San Diego State. Cadeau, and a shake and bake over to the right side. Moving in and out is Davis. Cadeau. Elliot Cadeau, left hook shot. The rebound after the miss was grabbed by Guap. And a battle for the ball. The play is whistled dead with 3:49 to go. And will sub out here. 37-16. The Tar Heels leading. It's a bloodbath here at Dayton. We'll return in a moment. An offensive onslaught by the North Carolina Tar Heels. They have every advantage imaginable in basketball over the San Diego State Aztecs. 12 of 19 shooting from the field, 5 of 6 from free, and made all 8 of the free throws. 14 points in the paint and 8 fast break points. San Diego State has no fast break points and 8 points in the paint. North Carolina and their offense are dominating San Diego State's in-your-face defense. Heidi will look around for Nick Boyd. Boyd swings it for Coleman Jones, fires the free, and hits it. Badly needed for San Diego State as they need to get it back. 8 assists on 12 field goals made for the Tar Heels. Here's the free on the right wing side. That didn't hit. And North Carolina's missed their last 2 free throws. And San Diego State, do they start a spark here? Do they start a rally? To the paint. McKinney kicks it out for Coleman Jones. Jared Coleman Jones moves it over. B.J. Davis with R.J. Davis guarding him. Davis airballs the free. It was B.J. Davis. He missed everything. After Jared Coleman Jones hit a three-pointer, B.J. Davis missed the entire mark. Less than 3 minutes to go in the first half. It's all Tar Heels here in the first half. R.J. Davis will look around. Screen is set, and Davis went down, and both teams are battling for the ball. Jump ball. North Carolina has the arrow. And on the next jump ball, San Diego State will take possession of the ball. Hubert Davis has tournament experience with him. Brian Dutcher as well. So Davis, he does have the advantage based on strength of schedule. San Diego State, 54th in the BPI rankings. Basketball Power Index for college basketball. Ven-Allen Lubin with a rough screen. And tic-tac-toe as Davis has free. Does he take himself? He does. Floats one up. In and out. B.J. Davis grabs this rebound. The Aztecs have missed 8 of their last 10 shots. And they missed another one here, making it 9 for their last 11 as the ball exits out of bounds. UNC is 25th in the BPI ranking. The 4th year of Hubert Davis, who got career win number 100 in the ACC Tournament quarterfinal. 2:22 to go. And San Diego State's looking to inbound. Deep inbound for McKinney. San Diego State has not let a lot in this game. They've been getting dominated. Here is Boyd. Nick Boyd draws the double team. He'll take it himself. Too far on that one. And getting the rebounds, Jae'Lyn Wivers. Deep pass over to the right side. Now to the paint. In comes Cadeau. And he takes heavy contact. That's Seth Trimble, actually. 2:03 to go. This Tar Heels team good at drawing fouls. The Tar Heels 5th in the ACC. The Aztecs 5th in the Mountain West. 21-9 overall are San Diego State. 22-13 overall are UNC. Trimble's first shot. Sinks it. 19-point lead is restored with 2:03 to go as Miles Bird slots back into the lineup. Wayne McKinney, the third, checks out. Trimble has been the hot hand here for the Tar Heels in this first half. Second shot, perfect. And they restore their 20-point lead. 2 minutes to go here. UNC wanting to face Ole Miss in the first round. Proximate tip-off is on Friday. And moving over to the right side as a foul away from the play. And Carolina does not want to duplicate this matter. There was an illegal screen set as North Carolina was trying to move around. They get back the ball. Elliot Cadeau at the middle. Ven-Allen Lubin setting the screen. The screen is reset. Cadeau. B.J. Davis still watching Cadeau. Trying to hand check him. Cadeau. Another screen by Lubin. Cadeau. Wow for Lubin. Lubin gets dispossessed. Foul was going to be called. And now send Lubin to the free throw line. And San Diego State thought that there should have been all ball that time around. Ryan Dutcher trying to explain in his case. And so that's San Diego State's 8th foul of this game. Lubin is a perfect 4 for 4 on free throws. North Carolina as a whole is perfect on free throws as well. Lubin's first shot. Hit it. And now we get a substitution here North Carolina is a perfect 11 of 11 from the stripe. And Pharaoh Compton wanting to check back into the game, but there's not much that San Diego State can do. The second shot from North Carolina is good. That is Lubin, making both. 41-19 is the lead, with 1:25 remaining at the half. No points for San Diego State in the last 2:12. Seth Trimble forces his man back deep. Nick Boyd, left wing side, and now at the logo. Moving right, it is Bird. Now back for Guaf. Sits down. I don't know what to say here, but I butchered that one admittedly. I apologize. 7 points for Magoon Guaf. 41-22 to lead here. UNC leading in San Diego State 41-22 as the deficit is 19. Davis, of course. RJ Davis, a dynamo. 40 seconds to play here in the first half. A nightmare for the Aztecs in this first half. Tic-tac-toe, the foul is going to be drawn. Guaf will head to the line. And frankly enough, the only player to have shot free throws for San Diego State is that man, Magoon Guaf. As he was going baseline each and every time. 6th foul against the Tar Heels. And so Guaf, North Carolina's in the bonus. First shot is too far. 32.9 to go as North Carolina is checking up on RJ Davis and his knee. Guaf with 7 points in this first 4 matchup. Winner faces Ole Miss, so it's more likely looking like it's going to be North Carolina. Second shot is good. And so we have a timeout, I believe. 32.9 to go. And so swap back in for the end of this first half in just a moment. I am Alec Nava. Bubba Cunningham, the chair of the NCAA Selection Committee, made the controversial selection to get North Carolina onto the tournament over West Virginia and Indiana. He is also UNC's athletic director, and many fans are upset at that pertaining to North Carolina bias. 28 seconds to go in this first half. And moving up now, it's Elliot Cadeau. He tries to fake out the San Diego State defense once and then twice. Cadeau staying put the March Madness logo with 10. When does he start? 8 seconds. Cadeau waiting for some time. Now this offense gets moving. Cadeau activating the pace up now. Davis from NBA range. Oh my! RJ Davis at the buzzer! North Carolina with a commanding 47-23 halftime lead as Elliot Cadeau finds RJ Davis at the buzzer for the last shot. His third three-pointer, and this one coming from way deep. And the defensive end, UNC is buckling down on San Diego State. Seth Trimble leading the way off the bench with 10 points and 1 rebound. Davis creating 2 assists. Cadeau with 8 assists in this game. 2 rebounds per game. And entering this game, Cadeau is averaging 6 assists per game, a team lead. So he's the starting point guard in this game. RJ Davis being the shooting guard. So after 20 minutes, UNC leads 47-23. The halftime report is up next. I am Alec Nava. Stay tuned. Halftime here at UD Arena in Dayton, Ohio, which has been the site of First Four action since 2001, their 25th consecutive year hosting the First Four. I am Alec Nava. Welcome to the March Madness Halftime Report. The Tar Heels lead the Aztecs 47-23. North Carolina getting 11 points from R.J. Davis and 10 points from Seth Trimble. Balanced scoring up and down for the lineup. 4 players with at least 7 points. 5, if you would say, at least 6 points in that first half. 6 for Jae'Lyn with 7 rebounds and a steal. 7 points, Elliot Cadeau adding 8 assists, a steal and a block. 8 points for Ven-Allen. 10 points off the bench for Seth Trimble. And 11 for R.J. Davis with 2 assists. North Carolina going 9 deep here, utilizing Jalen Washington and Trimble, Ian Jackson, and Cade Tyson off the bench. Same thing with San Diego State, but they're seeing much less offense. Magoon Guaf with 8 points, 3 of them on free throws. In fact, he has shot all 6 of San Diego State's free throws. He is 3 of 6 in that situation. He adds a rebound for SDSU. Miles Heide with 2 points and 3 rebounds off the bench. Nick Boyd with 6 points. Everyone else has 3 points or less. Jared Coleman Jones has a single 3-pointer. BJ Davis, a 2-pointer. Heide, a 2-pointer. And Farrell Compton, a dunk. So as of right now, it's a 47-23. UNC shooting 14-23 from the field. San Diego State 8 of 30. From free, the Tar Heels are 7 of 9. The Aztecs 4 of 16. For the free throw line, I mentioned about Magoon Guaf shooting all of San Diego State's free throws where he is 3 of 6. The Tar Heels are perfect 12 of 12. The rebound rate is 18 to 13 in favor of the Tar Heels. Assists are 10-4 Tar Heels. Steals 5-3 San Diego State. And the blocks are 2 each. So both teams are matching each other in terms of defense. The UNC is making a mockery of San Diego State's stifling defense, which is normally one of the best. But they're playing far like it here. Turnover 7-6 San Diego State. Fast break points are 10-0 UNC. Points to the paint 14-8 UNC. Fouls are 8-6 San Diego State. The largest lead for UNC is 24, which is how they're leading right now. So that is what we're seeing here between North Carolina and San Diego State. The North Carolina is in cruise control right now. So Alabama State won their thriller with an own spin on a Hail Mary pass. Micah Simpson played quarterback in middle school before he switched to wide receiver and corner as a high schooler in the state of Tennessee. Simpson didn't begin the year throwing long passes down court in end-of-game situations. He only learned to roll around Christmas. But when Alabama State needed a Hail Mary, they were tied with fellow number 16 seed St. Francis and 3.4 seconds left in the first four. Simpson delivered. A long pass was deflected twice before it landed with Amar Knox, whose late with 1 second left lifted Alabama State to a 70-68 win, notching their first ever March Madness win in program history, and will face the Auburn Tigers, the top overall seed and the headliner of the South region, on Thursday on a drive down south down the I-75 in Lexington, Kentucky. Simpson targeted Justiven Walker, Alabama State's tallest starter, 6'10", and connected with him before. But this time, the pass at the hands of both Walker and TJ Madlock before it ended up with Knox under the St. Francis basket. Tony Madlock, the father of TJ Madlock, said his team spends 10 to 12 minutes on situational elements before each game. The Hornets practiced half-court shots, an option on Tuesday that chose a shorter inbounds pass. Madlock had options on the final sequence, but whatever play lacking much of a success rate. Simpson said, quote, Simpson said, quote, not that I've been involved in. We practice a lot. You should just throw it. Let the tall guy go get it, pass it to one of the shooters. But instead we had it tipped up. Alabama State trailed us by as many as 9 points and reduced the deficit to 1.4 times in the second half before they were turned away. A C.J. Hines 3-pointer 424 gave them their first lead since the 14:20 mark of the first half. But a fanatic sequence that featured 2 St. Francis 3-pointers and a turnover late left the game deadlocked. This Hornets team won all 3 of their SWAC tournament games by 5 points or fewer. They were comfortable with another clutch play. Now we're doing in. It's March. It's madness. But it is for one team, not for the other. It is domination by the North Carolina Tar Heels, who lead 24 after their controversial selection into the field of 68.
Agreed. Yeah, man. I mean, I kind of expected that. I'm not really looking at this game, though. I'm keeping an eye on the NHL. Things are wild. Let's say that.
Does that imply, all right, the Minnesota Wild are not playing, but the New York Islanders were down by 2. They erased that 2-goal deficit in the third period and came all the way back to score 4 unanswered. The winner by early season, the winner by Pierre Engvall, who was placed on waivers to begin the season. He scores his 5th goal of the year back on the Islander lineup because they need him badly because of the Brock Nelson trade. I mean, it's against the Penguins, but it honestly, after some wins in which we shouldn't have, I think we have to prioritize the draft. And given that we lost this, okay then, I'll take it. And I've seen that your Blues, Ian, are up 4-1 on Nashville.
Yes, that is very opportune right now. And the Oilers are handedly taking care of the Utah Hockey Club. Calgary won, but with the Blues in a comfortable position right now, they would still be 2 points ahead. Winnipeg needs to get on the horse though, and beat Vancouver.
That's another case. Yeah, Vancouver's up 1-0 in their game. As we're taking a look at the standings, Calgary, despite a stellar effort from Igor Shesterkin, who had 33 saves against the Flames, it was not enough. The winner in the first period by Matt Coronado on the power play. So far, the only Canucks goal has come from Drew O'Connor, who has thrived on the top line next to Elias Pettersson on the Canucks. And you mentioned the Oilers were handedly beating the Utah Hockey Club. Normally, I'd say, oh my goodness, but given how the Oilers have been somewhat struggling outside the trade deadline, they've been involved in multiple one-score games. In fact, before their win over the Rangers, there's 2 nights ago, they were involved in 5 consecutive one-score games. They went 3-2 in those games, with 2 wins in overtime and 2 regulation losses. The wins against Montreal, Dallas, and the Islanders, and the losses to Buffalo and New Jersey. This is Utah they're facing, but the fact that they are taking this one handedly right now, it's safe to say, I feel it may be safe to say that this may be a relief for the Oilers. They've been struggling as of late, and this is a game in which they have taken handedly. The Nuge, Hyman, McDavid, Hyman again, and Podkolzin the goals. No surprise their top-end guys are getting on the board, but Podkolzin is a pleasant surprise for them. But speaking of surprises, Ian, the Anaheim Ducks, they are in a dogfight with the Dallas Stars of all teams, and even had the lead at one point. It's tied at 3, but the fact that the Ducks are going toe for toe with the Stars, this has to be good news for Anaheim.
Definitely. I mean, right now, Anaheim's out of the playoff picture. Even if by mathematical percentages they're still in it, they're not making it. So right now, what you're hoping, because you've won all these games now, you just need to have your core continue to gel. And that's what they're doing. Beating teams like the Stars is a good way to go out.
And that also bodes well for the future for Anaheim. What they need is one more is a spending spree. If they invest their money wisely on the right free agents, then we can see this team contending for a playoff spot starting next year. I don't think they'll make it in this year, but starting next year, I think that's when the contention window for Anaheim truly opens. You keep your core around. Carlson, McTavish, Zegras, Lacombe, those are your guys. Mintyukov, I also mentioned. Zellweger. Those are your main guys that you want to have around. And have Lucas Dostal as your primary starter. And also, that game also has a lot of implications for them. Seattle up 5-2 on Chicago. If you were to tell me that the Kraken would score 5 unanswered after the Blackhawks took a 2-0 lead, I would somewhat, and I mean, well, actually not somewhat believe you. I would not believe you because Spencer Knight is in net. He's allowed 5 unanswered at the hands of Adam Larson, Jordan Eberle, Jared McCann, Matthew Beniers, and Shane Wright. Oh my goodness, it's a slaughter in Chicago. And that's despite goals from Connor Bedard and Tyler Bertuzzi. So we have
All right, the Blues take it 4-1 against the Preds. All focus is now shifted to Winnipeg versus Vancouver for me.
that's the most crucial game out of this slate here in the NHL. The Washington Capitals wanting to take back the NHL regular season lead. They win 4-1 over the Detroit Red Wings. No Alex Ovechkin goals, but he is 8 goals away from the record.
Yeah. Alec, there's still only a few points out, but I think Detroit's run out of gas.
That's how I see it. The Todd McClellan effect worked well, but sadly, I think the Red Wings have ran out of gas here. It's not helping their trade deadline, in which they had some questionable trade when they trade away Joe Veleno for Craig Smith and Peter Mrazek. Huh.
Yeah, I don't get it either. But you know what? This season should just tell CVY one thing. You got the cap. Use it.
Yep. There's that. Well, San Jose, they're the first team out of the chase. League worst minus 77 goal differential. And they're at the bottom of the barrel, sitting at 18, 41, and 9. They're the first team out of the chase for the playoffs.
Well, say hello to another high draft pick. San Jose, this is going to be your life for a while. And folks, this is what happens when you try to keep the band together to chase the elusive cup instead of realizing that the time's up.
Facts matter, and their last great shot was 2019 when they lucked their way into the conference finals. That was their last great shot before Pavelski left.
Yeah. Winnipeg just tied it up. Nikolai Ehlers with his 22nd. However, Vancouver will be going on the power play.
Did they challenge it?
Who, Vancouver?
You're giving me the belief that Vancouver challenged that goal off of it, but I don't see any challenge here.
No, there's not. Winnipeg committed a penalty after the goal.
Ooh, not good.
Nope.
All right. So focusing back on San Jose and their season outlook after their elimination. Future is bright. They have the top-ranked prospect pool in the NHL. Of course, they have their key centerpieces in Celebrini, Eklund to keep around and to build this team around the foundation of them and Will Smith. Those three they can and keep for sure. Yaroslav Askarov, he's their goaltender of the future. Now, an .896 save percentage would normally be bad, but let's take into account that Askarov is playing behind a horrendous Sharks defense. That .896 save percentage is actually impressive when you think about it. Yeah, he's assuming those duties because of the Mackenzie Blackwood trade to Colorado. And now Askarov has a larger workload to get around him. San Jose did get some good returns when they trade away Michael Granlund, Cody Ceci, and over to Dallas. They got a first-round pick out of that, and they traded Jake Wallman to Edmonton, and they got another first-round pick out of that. So they have a stockpile of draft picks, but now San Jose does not have a number one defenseman. Their number one defenseman is a few years away from making it to the NHL. Sam Dickinson is tearing up the OHL right now, and if things go smoothly for him, he'll be the number one defenseman on the Sharks in no time.
Well, then, you know what? Okay. With San Jose being the first one out, they are effectively the worst team in the NHL, correct?
As of right now, based on the standings, yes.
So based on the standings, they are the worst right now, which means, okay, let's see here, we're still at halftime.
Yep.
So how many years have the Sharks picked in the top 10 in a row?
I have to check back on that, but I don't think this is the first time they picked first overall. Well, we're shortly getting back underway here in just a moment. Patrick Marleau was drafted first overall in the 1997 draft.
Well, I was more alluding to if they have reached their limit for picking in the top 9, or if there were any draft rules like that.
Well, they are still in the running for the first overall pick. So we're back underway here. San Diego State wearing the white jerseys and the white sweatpants. North Carolina and the all Carolina blue. Three-pointer immediately. They can't hit that, but they get it back thanks to Nick Boyd, who was right there at the right place at the right time. B.J. Davis. Boyd. Once again. Does San Diego State have a look? They have 10 to shoot after the offensive rebound. Boyd closes in. From the right hash, too strong on the hook. And UNC will move it up through the court. Far side, kicked out a left corner. Three-pointer. Rimmed out. UNC was quicking on their first 5 3-pointers, making each one of those. And the deep 2 on the way for San Diego State. Can't hit that one either. The Aztecs need a lot of points. They're down by 24. 47-23 is the Tar Heel lead here. Winner faces Ole Miss at Milwaukee. On the right side, R.J. Davis sets up Ven-Allen Lubin. Gets blocked. Gets it back. Lubin keeps a hold of it. Davis, same positioning now from NBA range again! If you had a nickel for every time R.J. Davis hit a three-pointer from NBA range, you'd have 2 nickels now. I know it's not a lot, but it's outstanding that it happened twice in the same game. Here comes San Diego State back the other way, and they get pickpocketed. And it appears to be a transition take foul that prevented Drake Powell from getting to the rack. So this is the first foul against San Diego State at the half, and it's against B.J. Davis. If R.J. Davis setting the position previously on B.J. Simply lovely. Nick Boyd tried to go back to B.J. Davis. But Davis had no choice but to prevent Powell from getting all the way. That's why they had to commit a transition take foul. So now San Diego State down by 27. It looks like their chances are going to the first round are fleeting. So Powell will take this transition take free throw. The first one. Well, this one is good. So transition take fouls usually result in 1 free throw. Clear path fouls are 2 free throws. They're actually going to classify this as a clear path foul. Second one. Rimmed out. And that's the first free throw that North Carolina has missed all game. The first missed free throw being at the 21-minute, 33-second mark. And so the Tar Heels get to keep it. A few minutes into this game as Elliot Cadeau with a set screen from Ven-Allen Lubin. Cadeau swings it out for Wivers. Wivers to the inside for Lubin. Saves it. Davis. Cadeau. Elliot Cadeau moves in his layup. Rejected out of bounds. That was Magoon Guaf with the block on his layup. Lead is now 28 for the Tar Heels. Chance to make it 30. The Tar Heels looking to get something out of this one. Cadeau, left wing side, a fake on B.J. Davis. Off balance. They scoop it over 4.5. But a foul is going to be called here. And it's R.J. Davis taking a shot. As he was off balance. The foul on B.J. Davis. And you'd have to think that B.J. is going to have to get subbed out. He is at 3 fouls. A hand check on R.J. Davis from B.J. Davis. Oh. So now 14 points for R.J. Preseason NCAA Player of the Year favorite. And one of the more talented players in the NCAA. The first shot. No doubt about it. The lead is now 52-23, and Brian Dutcher wants a war with the officials. 1:59 into this second half. The Tar Heels dominate. Second shot. Perfect. And it's a 30-point lead here for the Tar Heels. They made a trip here to Dayton. Winner goes to Milwaukee. And Dutcher's still trying to plead his case. Made the national championship 2 years ago. And Davis missed the third one. Second missed free throw for UNC in this game. On the right side, this is Nick Boyd backed up at the March Madness logo. Give and go between him and Guaf. Right wing side to Coleman Jones. Jared Coleman Jones drops back. And a deep two. From behind, the free throw line is perfect. It is a 28-point game now. The last shot taken by B.J. Davis, assisted by Jared Coleman Jones. On the layup is good for UNC. Ven-Allen Lubin with the scoop. Already 2 fouls against San Diego State, both on B.J. Davis. In this half, he's up to 3 in this game. 15th game for Lubin this season where he has scored at least 10. And San Diego State answers with a deep 2. Jared Coleman Jones' jumper being the catalyst of that. R.J. Davis, Elliot Cadeau, and then back for Davis. Davis tried to Euro it, but the passing lane was closed up. Jared Coleman Jones goes to the far side on his pass. To the inside, hard foul on Miles Bird. UNC getting a defensive foul here as Bird wanted to go to the inside. The sophomore guard from Stockton, California, heading to the line to shoot 2. Free throws are not San Diego State's strength. He does not have a point in this game. He gets his first one. He'll get another chance here. Remember, in 2 days from now, I'll be casting Purdue and High Point. And the day after that, as Bird sinks both, the day after that is Marquette and New Mexico. 56-28. The Tar Heels have doubled the San Diego State Aztecs in points. Davis on Davis. How about that for a name? Has the scoop and score for Wivers. It's 57-29 here for North Carolina on the lead. Nick Boyd. 3-pointer for Jared Coleman Jones. It's too far. Ball swatted up. Deflected up. And the play's whistled dead with 16:23 to go. So B.J. Davis in the vicinity on shooting that. Davis had the offensive rebound. It's a loose ball foul against Drake Powell. And Wivers getting called for one of the worst lane violations ever. When UNC made the time free throw, foul here on Guaf. He'll shoot more free throws, trying to get San Diego State back into this to pull off a miracle. Jae'Lyn Wivers getting encouragement from his UNC teammates in the aftermath of that inbound violation. Largest lead was 30 points by the Tar Heels. In March, anything could happen. Guaf shooting 2 once again. He has 8 points now, most of them off of free throws. The first one, he missed it. But 3 of those points have came on free throws. And the knee of Jae'Lyn Wivers was getting checked at. Same with R.J. Davis before the half. The second one, good. And so it's a 27-point game. Seth Trimble checks in for the Tar Heels. He had himself a nice night against the Blue Devils. 9 of 18 from 2 for the Tar Heels. 8 of 11 from 3. Davis has Nick Boyd on him. R.J. Davis continues to look. Screen set by Ven-Allen Lubin. Davis would go to Jae'Lyn Wivers. Back to Davis. From the March Madness logo, Jared Coleman Jones on an island. Jae'Lyn Wivers lost it as he was trying to position up on Nick Boyd. That'll lead us to the official timeout. We check out here with North Carolina leading 57-30 with 15:53 to go in the second half. I'm Alec Nava. We'll be right back.
All right, so Canucks now lead 3-1 over the Winnipeg Jets, scoring a goal with 3 seconds left in the first period to make it 3-1.
How about Brock Besser and Niels Höglander?
Yeah, it was a nice play.
Yeah. One of them being a power play goal, the other being even strength with 3 seconds left. Those two goals were a minute and 28 seconds apart. And now the Seattle Kraken have scored 6 unanswered goals on the Chicago Blackhawks. Yes, 6 unanswered goals. The most recent being Shane Wright with a second tonight. Whew. An absolute slaughtering over Chicago. And another final score. Dallas wins it 4-3 in overtime thanks to Michael Granlund over Anaheim. Yep, a win for both teams. They get what they both want. As Dallas keeps a hold at second spot in the Central Division. They were hard charging right on the Winnipeg Jets, trying to spoil the party for the Jets' Central Division hopes. But after this game, they remain 9 points behind Winnipeg. Montreal won 6-3 over Ottawa as well. That's one of the latest updates. As they score 4 unanswered to end the game. It was tight until the empty netters.
And now the Montreal Canadiens are a wild card team. Alec, the East is just full of teams you didn't. It's full of. It is basically a contest of which team that you didn't think would be a playoff team is going to be a playoff team. Because as of right now, it's going to be the Senators for sure, unless they tail off completely. But I don't see that happening. And then you got the Canadiens, the Rangers, the Islanders, the Jackets, maybe the Red Wings. I mean, it's who wants it.
A who's who of who's who.
Exactly.
North Carolina's allowed 10 field goals in this game. And in the process here, they have allowed just 4 3-pointers. Here's one from San Diego State that missed. And so North Carolina is going back here. R.J. Davis thought about the free. He instead retreats back as Wade McKinney is on him. Davis, U-Man is on him off the screen. At the right wing side, now activate on the rush. Davis kicks it out to the left corner. Here's Wivers, bounced out. And San Diego State gets a rebound. 3-on-3 as they come back here. Nick Burr staying out there to scoop and score. And it's a 25-point game here at Dayton, Ohio, at UD Arena. The Tar Heels looking to seal the deal. They lose it, but a foul is called on the poke. Wayne McKinney called for this foul as he was off the bench, being the latest substitution. He has yet to score a point. He has 1 block though, but this is his 3rd foul against him. He is in foul trouble alongside B.J. Davis. Inbounded to Jae'Lyn Wivers. Wivers moves it up over to the mid-range shot. Yes, sir. R.J. Davis is on a roll. He has 18 points now. Far side now for San Diego State. But watch out for that man Davis wearing the number 4 for North Carolina. Here is Guaf. Magoon Guaf. Position himself. Can't get that one to fall. Seth Trimble off the rebound. Trimble rushes. Trimble can't make it. And the rebound's blocked. And San Diego State goes back. Poked away. Elliot Cadeau back with this for the Tar Heels. And Nick Boyd furious as he's called for a foul. Cadeau cleanly poked it away from the rushing Miles Bird, but Nick Boyd wants to know what the foul against him is for. This will be his second here. 7 points for Cadeau. He was unconscious from free against Duke. Moving inside, and another hard foul. This one legit. Jae'Lyn Withers will head to the line. So Cadeau hit 3 3-pointers. He showed them at the biggest moments for UNC against Duke. Almost stole that game from the Blue Devils. And Utah is on the board against Edmonton. Finally, it took them until 16:26 of the second period. First shot is good. The goal was scored by Sean Dursey. Withers checking on his hand, wanting to make sure everything is okay. You have some substitutions here for San Diego State as Jared Coleman-Jones sits down. Withers makes both. And Miles Heide is in for San Diego State. 9 points for Guelph. He has 3 fouls. 17 of 19 for the line is UNC. Another make for San Diego State. They're within 27 now as this deep pass was poked away. There was Wayne McKinney with the jumper. Cadeau tried a bullet pass up the right side, didn't work. Each team has 3 turnovers in this half. San Diego State is wanting to convert that into points. They have just 34 here throughout. Farrell Compton will set up Wayne McKinney. Jumper from the free throw line. You got it. 25-point game here with 13:40 to go. But they need a miracle here. They want to erase this deficit, which was by as many as 30 points. Cadeau lost the ball as both teams battle for it. North Carolina has the arrow, so they'll keep it. Jae'Lyn Washington fell on as both teams were fighting for the ball. And so checking back in is Ian Jackson in the place of Elliot Cadeau. Jackson, one of the top bench players on the Tar Heels for Hubert Davis' squad. And Brian Dutcher can only watch in amazement. Immediate 3-pointer. And that went in. Didn't look like it at first, but RJ Davis has 21. San Diego State has no answer for UNC. This is Davis' 12th game this year with at least 20 points. 47 career. Foul called against North Carolina, and Nick Boyd will shoot 2. It's going inside the free throw line. RJ Davis is feeling it tonight after a game in which he struggled mightily. Having just 8 points against Duke, he's having himself a nice game here. No free throws, but Boyd almost hit a free, and the rebound is picked up by Washington. 7 minutes deep into the second half. The Tar Heels, shooting 2 of 4 from free, is kicked out for Drake Powell. Powell to the paint. It's moved out, and a free from Washington is too far. Davis wanted to crash the glass. Trimble, actually, and both teams fight for the ball. And jump ball, San Diego State has it. And so North Carolina will have the arrow on the next jump ball. Boyd got in there to force a jump ball to yank it away from Trimble. And Boyd is getting checked out. Still it's a 64-36 North Carolina lead. Miles Heide and Taj DeGorville in for San Diego State. 2 years removed from a national championship appearance. With Matt Bradley, the free, too far for McKinney. And a rebound secured by UNC. Trimble at the right wing side. Draws a double team on him. Compton's on him. He defers to Davis. Davis has been on a heater. Does he get another one here? Can't. North Carolina shot 9 of 14 from free in this game. Foul is drawn against the Tar Heels. That is their 5th against them. And Seth Trimble tells us, hands up in the air. Put your hands up in the air. You know, in a game like this, sometimes you got to have fun and make the most of it. The Magoon Guaf, the highest scoring Aztec with 9 points as Davis checks out. And force a well-earned rest for him. Compton will deliver to the Gorville. Taj to Gorville. Double fake. And right around Jackson. Kicked out to the right corner. Move up front. Here is BJ Davis. Couldn't sink that one. Jackson connects. Jackson! Oh, they couldn't put it in. And now Trimble follows up. 66-36 as Seth Trimble cashes in on the second chance. Ian Jackson couldn't make the dunk. Now this jumper couldn't fall here for the Gorville. The Tar Heels, unbelievably dominant offensively. Here's a Frieder feeling it. You bet. Ian Jackson from way deep. And it's 69-36. On the right side, Heidi. From the point, sets up for McKinney. Compton. 12.4 points per game, 1.8 rebounds per game, and an ACC All-Rookie selection. So we have an N1 here for BJ Davis. No count it. The free throw will come after the official timeout. But Ian Jackson is one of the most crucial pieces of this Tar Heel offense. Going to break here at Dayton. 69-38. Tar Heels lead.
All right. The second period of the Canucks versus Jets will be starting any minute now. So I'll be looking at that. Alex doing a good job of covering the game. I will say though, the next game for both the Blues and the Canucks are against each other. So, in reality, for Vancouver, this is a must-win.
The same can be said for St. Louis about must-win situations. Right now, Vancouver is ahead of Winnipeg with their season on the line. The two wild cards occupied by the Wild and the Blues. The Blues have been the hottest team among the teams competing for WC2.
Yeah. Although, I don't know, Alec. I mean, the Wild they've kept their head above water, but they are slowly sinking without Kirill Kaprizov, and they're not going to get him back, are they?
Well, chances are, if he does come back, how effective will he be? His value to the team showed at the first half of the season when the Wild were one of the more surprising teams in the league. But this is the brutal reality of John Hines' teams. Too many injuries.
Yeah.
Yep, the Canucks and Blues facing each other on Thursday. Tomorrow we have a big game in the NHL on the 7 o'clock slate, with the Colorado Avalanche traveling to Toronto to face the Maple Leafs. Superstars Nathan McKinnon and Austin Matthews face off. The third superstar also in that mix, and a fourth one too. Cale Makar for Colorado, Mitch Marner for Toronto.
And the second game also holds some importance, as it is the Seattle Kraken versus I believe it's the Kraken versus the Wild.
You got that right. It is the Kraken and Wild.
Which we just highlighted. The Wild are trying to do everything in their power to keep themselves above water and not fall out of the wild card race.
They want to do that. So now tomorrow, the two games that are being previewed are Mount St. Mary's against American University and Xavier against Texas. 6:40 and 9:10 Eastern, the approximate tip-offs. And the first meet between Toronto and Colorado was a 7-4 win by the Avalanche, a 4-goal Avalanche in that third period. Back here in North Carolina, as we are still having a lot of the game decided, though the Tar Heels may be comfortably moving on to the first round as we have a foul drawn here on a failed block of Elliot Cadeau moving it down. I was going to say it's a goaltend, actually. 71-39. And coming out the break, it was a made free throw off the and one. So just getting that out of the way. On the right side, this is BJ Davis getting the one-on-one matchup. Right side, now inside, Heidi. Miles Heidi with Jae'Lyn Washington on him. Heidi trying to hook, short, but gets contact. And he'll shoot two. And Miles Bird is feeling a lot of pain on the side of the court. He is down. And the belief is that there might be some sort of... Yeah, he twisted his ankle at the far side of the court as he tried to center up. Couldn't keep going, and now he sits down at the bench. Could not go any further. He's trying to take up the time to heal up the ankle. So now Heidi's going to shoot two free throws. The lead here is 32 for the Tar Heels. 71-39. 2 points for Heidi so far on its only shot. The first one here. Too far. The Tar Heels have 7 fouls against them in this half. But in all likelihood, that's not going to matter much because of the offensive showing they put up against San Diego State. The second one is good. For the Tar Heel fans that made the trip, got your wish. And Heidi's going to sit down behind the bench, taking care of the ankle. Yeah, the twisted ankle. Jae'Lyn Washington with 3 fouls against him. San Diego State 8 of 13 from the stripe. Trimble gets a screen from Lubin. Trimble lays this one up. Halfway through the second half, and it could be all but said that North Carolina left for dead at the selection process. Well, it's hard to kill a zombie. 3-pointer goes over the backboard. Heidi keeps it in. Left wing side. Too far again. And this rebound grabbed by Jackson. Ian Jackson through the left side, now center. Cadeau. Back to Jackson. No RJ Davis on the court, but given how North Carolina's done so far, they don't really need him right now. 9:29 as this ball is out of bounds, deflected by the Aztecs. But Trimble, going on a tear here in the second half ever since Davis was put on the bench. He has 14 points. And North Carolina, a high-paced team. San Diego State, one of the slower-paced teams here. Mid-range shot. And a foul called here as Davis is back on. If you look at classic March Madness games, you will be thinking about UNC versus Villanova being among one of the best national championship games ever. RJ Davis on an absolute tear. He is 21, now 22. The first of 2 free throws was good there. Third most ever points in history of UNC Chapel Hill. Second shot, that's good. And it's a 35-point lead. So he got the official picks from Dickie V. Dick Vitale, who makes his official March Madness picks. See his bracket once you get a stoppage as this layup goes for San Diego State. 75-42. And a game which we thought was going to be a little bit competitive. But the high-octane offense of UNC is showing large. Alley-oop! Rejected! But a foul. Doesn't mean much. As we see Dick Vitale's complete bracket. So in the first round, Auburn, Louisville, Michigan, Texas as part of his picks. As we have Ven-Allen Lubin shooting 2. Lead is now 35 for the Tar Heels. And this first shot connects. 76-42. to get Jae'Lyn Withers back onto the court in the place of Seth Trimble. Trimble being one of the best shooters off the bench for the Tar Heels. Been to the UNC Chapel Hill campus several times. And it's very nice, among one of the best in North Carolina. Back to a 35-point lead here, as Lubin made both free throws. And through the left side, it is Nick Boyd. Moved up for Coleman Jones. Is Jared Coleman Jones, and a turnover. UNC getting this through. Drake Powell, the amazingly creative alley there. So as we get, so on the next stoppage, we'll get Dickie V's full bracket and Guaf. More tic-tac-toe around. So UNC's advantage here with their high-octane offense is completely showing right in front of San Diego State. It's one of the best offenses in the nation. Even though they don't play defense a lot, this offense is remarkable. Among the nation's best. Tied for 4th in the ACC, going 2-1 the ACC Tournament, being Notre Dame and Wake Forest, then giving Duke a run for their money. It'll be Nick Boyd shooting 2. It's 1-1. Miss that one, you will not get another chance. And Withers will lob this one backwards. See, and for all the talk about UNC and their controversy around them, this is one of their best games that they played all year. With an all-around complete effort. Domination at the offensive side of the court. Davis taking his time with this. He'll kick it out to the left corner. A free from Powell. No go. And it goes to Goreville. 31% shooting is San Diego State. North Carolina shooting 57%. Oh, and a smoked layup for Guav after he spun out one of UNC's players. Davis hits it. And RJ Davis on a mission gets the Tar Heels up by 40. And San Diego State uses another timeout. Davis has 26 in this first 4 game. A masterclass of sorts. 82-42 when we come back here from Dayton. Well, now, that feel-good moment for Utah after they scored that goal lasted all of just 4 minutes. Because right out the gates of the third period, the Oilers come out swinging with Matthias Ekholm and Victor Arvidsson scoring the 2 most recent goals. Fellow countrymen at Sweden. Just a huge ouch moment for Utah. Right, for the rest of the bracket for Dickie V, in the first round, he's got, so in the South region, first round, he's got Auburn, Louisville, Michigan, A&M, Ole Miss, Iowa State, Marquette, and Michigan State. Second round, he's got Auburn, Michigan, Iowa State, and Michigan State. For the Sweet 16, this will set up the Michigan versus Michigan State rivalry, in which he's got Michigan State coming out of the South region. For the East region, Duke, Mississippi State, Oregon, Arizona, VCU, Wisconsin, St. Mary's, and Alabama. For the second round, Duke, Arizona, Wisconsin, and Alabama. For the Sweet 16, he has Duke and Alabama facing off, and Duke coming out of the East region. The Midwest region, Houston, Gonzaga, Clemson, Purdue, Illinois, Kentucky, UCLA, and Tennessee. In the second round, Houston, Purdue, Kentucky, Tennessee. Sweet 16 is Houston, Tennessee. And the Elite 8, he has Houston coming out the Midwest region. For the West region, Florida, UConn, Colorado State, Maryland, Drake, Texas Tech, Kansas, and St. John's. In the second round, Florida, Colorado State, Texas Tech, and St. John's. For the Sweet 16, Florida versus St. John's for the Elite 8, in which he has Florida State winning. He has Duke versus Florida in the national championship game, and Dickie V's pick to win March Madness is, drumroll please, the Duke Blue Devils. So, yes, that is Dickie V's bracket. He has Duke beating Florida in the national championship. UNC is running circles around San Diego State. Everything shows for that. A crafty layup from Drake Powell, and then RJ Davis follows up with another deep shot that somewhere Mike Breen just said bang. 7:25 to go in the half. And moving up for Compton. Farrell Compton moving through. And he gets it over to Nick Boy, who gets rejected, but Compton follows up. And the foul. So the game is still going, but nonetheless, been over a long time ago. And San Diego State's chances gone to the wayside. Official timeout here with 7:14 to go. We'll be right back.
Winnipeg is not playing to their form right now.
Tell me, what are you seeing?
Well, it's still 3-1, and Winnipeg is still in the single digits for shots on goal, which I wouldn't expect that from the top team in the West.
6 shots on goal. Oof. Yeah, I would have expected more from Winnipeg in this game, especially because this is Vancouver we're talking about. They made it to the playoffs last year, but Vancouver is playing like they have nothing left to lose. So as of late, it's 3-1 Canucks, and the Jets, they just record their 7th shot on goal in this game. Whew. Not looking good for them. And meanwhile, on the basketball side of things, you got the Boston Celtics escaping the Brooklyn Nets 104-96, with Baylor Shireman and Kristaps Porzingis leading the way. Shireman scored 13 of his 20 points in the 4th quarter. So what a good showing for the rookie Shireman out of Creighton University. And he'll get to see his Blue Jays compete in March Madness again. Porzingis with 25. And mind you, this is a game in which the Celtics were without both Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. D'Angelo Russell with 18. Zaire Williams with 15. 7 dimes for D'Lo. And KP with 13 rebounds and 3 blocks. When healthy, he can be a beast.
2-3 Vancouver. Alex Iafallo scored for Winnipeg. It's 3-2 Vancouver.
And guess who has the primary assist on that goal? Luke Shen, their trade deadline acquisition.
Yes, sir. All right, Winnipeg. Thank you.
Okay, so, coming close to getting back into this game, RJ Davis having one of his best nights as a Tar Heel with 26 points. Davis doesn't want his UNC career to end on a sour note when he scored 8 against Duke as the free throw is made. 7:14 to play. So Davis, he has redemption against San Diego State. Alabama State won 70-68. Clinches 16th in-seat spot up against Auburn. The pass deflected out of bounds. Davis daps up Elliot Cadeau, and exactly 7 minutes to play, Hubert Davis's boys are likely going to get on to the second round, in all likelihood as Seth Trimble comes on the place of Davis, who checks out. Elliot Cadeau also checks out. Ven-Allen Lubin checks out too. So a lot of the reserves are getting in for the Tar Heels. They're key players from the bench. Game is still far from over, but the Tar Heels perceive it to be as such. On to the right, as this is moved from B.J. Davis to Jared Coleman-Jones. Coleman-Jones is fouled with 6:35. And at halftime, the Golden State Warriors on a run ever since they got Jimmy Butler from the Miami Heat. But they don't have him playing in this game. They're using a 7-deep rotation, rare in the NBA. It's not often you see teams playing 12 players in a game. Coleman-Jones shooting 2 shots. First one is perfect. And Kate Tyson enters back in for the Tar Heels. He had not played since the closing stages of the first half, but he was used in a leverage situation in which UNC was running into foul trouble. Tyson positioned to the left of Taj DeGorville. The second one is up and out, and Tyson rushes to the ball. Seth Trimble, 6:30. Nick Bird is on him. Trimble goes to his right. He'll look for an open lane. That is Powell. Powell moves around as UNC going to run out the rest of this clock. Ian Jackson. Oh my goodness. He did not have to do San Diego State's defense like that. Even the kids are shocked by that. What a move. What a play. Nick Bird moves around. Goes to the paint. Running out of time to fire it. Oh, heavy contact. He will head to the line. 11 points for Quinton Post and 11 for Brandon Podziemski. No Steph Curry. And Jimmy Butler has 8 points for the Warriors so far in this game. Wearing the number 10. And wearing Butler the third. Boyd is 10 points. 4-14 from the field. Makes one. The Aztecs well within the bonus. As North Carolina is well over the limit. Powell is subbing out. Game is basically over with 5:58. And the North Carolina fans making a trip here to Dayton, applauding the checking out starter. Second shot is good. Boyd trying to get that one off in a hurry. And the Tar Heels up 85-48 with 5:58 to go. Ian Jackson also subbing out. No, he's not. And so, North Carolina, 5:51 away from advancing to the first round. Out the first 4. Kate Tyson tried to set up. Jackson's still out there. UNC trying another free, and they're so good from free, they almost hit a wedgie. As ironic as it is to say it. Compton. Nothing there. Loose ball foul here. And so possession will stay with the Tar Heels. 7 for Moses Moody as he was elevated to starting 5. Buddy Hield is 9. Jonathan Kuminga has 8. For Milwaukee, Giannis Antetokounmpo with 10. Kyle Kuzma with 11. And some of these UNC fans have Carolina blue afros. You remember it's Carolina blue. Remember not to wear royal blue because that's Duke colors. 5:30 to go. And it'll be 2 shots here for Ty Quad, who's come on. 1-on-1. It's this one deflected out, but a rush of the ball. Quad grabs it and gets dispossessed. Compton wanted to reach it, but can't save this ball. 5:23 remains. And time clearly running out, or has ran out. So 63-56. That's the Cavaliers' lead over the Clippers at the Intuit Dome. That'll be the site of the 2028 basketball games in the Olympics. Kicked out, K. Tyson. Move says he was close out from free. Tyson pump fakes, and the rebound grabbed up and swatted away from Quad out of bounds. As Guaf was crashing onto the UNC bench. Run sparked by Donovan Mitchell with 13 points. Evan Mobley and DeAndre Hunter each have 10 points. And out the whistle here is an inbound dangerously to Jalen Washington. Seth Trimble controlling the pace. Clock management is what North Carolina is going with. North Carolina gets the hook to go. One of the proudest organizations in NCAA men's basketball. 4:40 to play. And this game showed a tale of two different teams. Lead for the way as this mid-range jumper floats through. 4:27 to play. San Diego State down by 37. The Tar Heels are on their way to Milwaukee. 2-0 all time against San Diego State. Each and every time they've beaten them by double digits. Won by 11 in the first meeting. They won by 36 in the most recent meeting, which is their second. That was in 1990. The mid-range jumper didn't go. But with 4 minutes to go, San Diego State going coast to coast. This layup is smoked. But there's the putback. On the dunk by Bird. And finally, it seems there's some semblance of excitement in a season that's already ended for the Aztecs. Carolina has 133 March Madness tournament victories. 335 away from number 134. Jump ball here as they fight for the ball. The Tar Heels have the blue arrow. It now will step away before we head to the final 3:32. North Carolina content with running out this clock. They lead 87-52 when we return for the final minutes. So no recent updates from the Vancouver-Winnipeg game. That's the most important game to slate. Utah and Edmonton still the same score as ever. 7-1. Yes, it's 7-1 as the Seattle score is final. Karel Vermelka was pulled after the first period of play. He allowed 3 goals on 14 shots. Jackson Stauber allowed 4 goals on 26 shots. So it's not a good day for a Utah goaltender. Meanwhile, for Edmonton, you got Calvin Pickard, who stopped 25 of 26. But given that Edmonton has been in several close matches in past games, they needed this one badly. To reestablish momentum. To reestablish the offensive attack. So far, Kevin Lankinen stopped 9 of 11, and Connor Hellebuck 8 of 11.
Jesus, hearing that name, Calvin Pickard. I mean, this was a guy who could be traced to the dark days of the Avalanche, and he was picked by the Vegas Golden Knights as a goal. This was when, keep in mind, people, this was before the Kyle Turris trade, where they eventually got Cale Makar. This is when they were at the bottom. And Vancouver scored again, Brock Besser. 4-2 Vancouver.
Oh, he's hungry for some more goals. So I know the game is far from over, but Andrew, how are you feeling this game for UNC?
Listen, you can call him corrupt Cunningham all you want, but those good old boys down in North Carolina sure know how to win a basketball game.
A point to prove.
Now, are you liking, Alec, a full North Carolina Final Four? We got High Point. A lot of people are sleeping on High Point. You know, I personally, I like those Badgers. Those Badgers are tough and gritty. We saw that Big Ten championship. If they had made a couple threes here and there, we're talking Big Ten champs, at least a 2 seed. But I'm liking our lineup there with the Badgers.
Mm-hmm.
Are you picking, Alec? Are you picking for High Point to pull off the upset? Are you thinking Sweet 16, second weekend for your for your Panthers?
Oh my goodness, what a shot! Though at the very best, I would think High Point would go to the Sweet 16. That's at the very best if we become a Cinderella story in March Madness. That's how I think it. The road starts 2 nights from now, or 2 days from now. If the 3-pointers answer back by San Diego State, I like our chances against Purdue. Well, Purdue, I know they are a top team, but High Point are no slouches. Those boys can get the job done. Trailed by 15 against Winthrop in the Big South Championship. Rally back for the win and the March Madness bid. I like our chances, given this is stronger under Alan Huss.
Just one word, and that's March.
Indeed.
Yeah. I got 2 picks. Missouri beats Drake to advance, because that's my squad, and Florida falls to Norfolk State, because I can tell you as a Missouri fan, Norfolk State is a giant killer.
Wow. I'll have a take here as we have another 3 that didn't make it, but my take is, as the layup goes off to follow, 92-57 as North Carolina is running away with this. All right, my take. Well, I can't even have a time to get a take because San Diego State decided to shoot a 3-pointer and the game is already too late. All right, my take is St. John's to the championship game.
I agree. That's in my bracket, too.
Same. And oh yeah, here comes the layup. No foul as the officials have swallowed their whistles this late in the game because the score line, honestly, I don't blame them. A free. Good for San Diego State is 29 points the difference, and Hubert Davis will slow down that momentum, calling a timeout. With 1:16 to go, he's checking out all his main boys.
This game's far from over.
Well, North Carolina may have sealed the deal, but this tournament is definitely at its start, and we just saw a thriller between Alabama State and St. Francis. Shout out to Alabama State. First ever March Madness tournament win. How about that?
Yeah. So, Alec, would you guys be up for doing a fantasy baseball league?
Well, I would be down for that.
I'm not much of a fantasy fan of anything. And 5-2 Vancouver. Wow.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my goodness.
There is no help coming from Winnipeg tonight. Connor Hellebuck has decided to have his worst game of the season late.
These dreaded times, that is. So as for fantasy baseball, yeah, the Tokyo series is underway. Well, the Dodgers and Cubs can say that they have to respect Nippon baseball because the Nippon baseball team that they faced gave them a run for their money and beat them. In this first of 2 games, the Dodgers won 4-1. The free throw is too far. And after a good start, the Dodgers, they kick off their champion title defense with a win. Tommy Edman, Teoscar Hernandez, Will Smith, and Teoscar again. Well, this is as complete of a North Carolina effort as you can see here with the 92-63 effort. And they put San Diego State onto a gaping hole that they could never climb themselves out of. A fast start and a fast finish. The Tar Heels are still here, You can never count them out.
Still dancing.
Even through all the controversy surrounding them, even for West Virginia pursuing legal action against the NCAA. North Carolina said, we're here. San Diego State makes the first free throw. North Carolina has said, we belong here.
But don't you think West Virginia has more important stuff to worry about with how they rank in terms of education and healthcare and poverty compared to, worrying about what's going on with the NCAA tournament, Alec?
Whew, another free from North Carolina. These guys just don't miss. They have 95 points all game, and they're just putting on a lights out show here at Dayton. A buzzer beating shot, one last free pointer because why not? And that is it. The Tar Heels dominate the Aztecs 95-68 and will travel to Milwaukee to face the Ole Miss Rebels.
Well then, I am going to continue paying attention to this Winnipeg-Vancouver game and hoping that Winnipeg gets their life together and somehow comes back and beats them.
Hopefully that is the case because, oh my goodness, if we were expecting in one of the times to lay an egg, this is not the time to do so for Winnipeg. On the bracket, Ole Miss, North Carolina, Iowa State, and Lipscomb are at Milwaukee at Fiserv Forum, being in the South region. The winner of those games will face off in the second round on Sunday between Ole Miss and North Carolina, 6th seed and 11th seed, Iowa State and Lipscomb, 3rd seed and 14th seed. So, with that said, that's all from Dayton, Ohio at UD Arena. To give you the final stats here from this game, R.J. Davis finishes with 26 points, 4 of 5 from the line, and a perfect 6 of 6 from three-point range. It's a three-point shooting clinic for North Carolina as they shot 14 of 24 from deep, making their first 5 three-pointers. Overall, they shot 30 of 57, 16 points out the bench for Seth Trimble, 12 for Ven-Allen Lubin, and 10 for Jae'Lyn Withers with 10 rebounds. For San Diego State, shut down all around. Wayne McKinney III and Nick Boyd were their 2 leading scorers at 12 points apiece, with Boyd adding 5 rebounds, 9 each for B.J. Davis, and Magoon Guaf will return from a knee injury, but was not enough to beat the Tar Heels, the wheels that keep on rolling. Still here and never left. And on the team stats side, so as for rebounds, are 39-28 North Carolina. San Diego State shot 8 of 27 from deep. North Carolina 14 of 24. They shot 30 of 57 from the field. San Diego State 23 of 58. 39.7% of their shots. Free throws 21 of 24 North Carolina. 14 of 23 San Diego State. On assists 17 to 11 North Carolina. Steals 7-6 San Diego State. 5-2. The blocks in favor of San Diego State. 11 turnovers each. Fast break points are 18 to 9 North Carolina. 30 to 24. The points in the paint in favor of North Carolina. The largest lead for North Carolina, a staggering 40 points. That's all from Dayton, North Carolina. I am Alec Nava saying so long from UD Arena. Good night and see you on Thursday.